time now to find out what opportunities exist for entrepreneurs to make use of technology and, of course, enhancing their wealth and wealth creation strategies for their well-being. On the line, talking to us from Dubai, we have Jameel Ahmad, Vice President of Corporate Development and Market Research at FXTM, and that stands for Forex Time, which will be launching soon in South Africa. Good to have you with us today, Jameel, and thank you so much for making time. Give us some background firstly as to what Forex Time is and how soon it will be launching in South Africa.
Firstly, thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to talk to you and to meet you. So Forex Time are a leading global online trading brokerage. We launched a few years back, and we see high potential in the South African market towards trader education and educating traders. So actually what we're going to be doing over the next week is come into South Africa to talk about the local market, what impact the local currency is having on the global economy, and also to present some trading workshops for those who are interested in learning how to trade.
Whenever I hear about trading Forex, I tend to get quite nervous because it is quite a risky platform or asset class to actually invest in. But as a quick overview, what are some of the guidelines and what are the nuances that you bring as Forex Time, which ensure that the training and the traders that you teach are well equipped to deal with this volatile environment?
What we specialize in at Forex Time is trader education. Now, we understand that education is paramount to any trader, and it does not matter whether you're a newbie, mature trader, or an experienced trader. Trader education never stops. Now, what we also do as a global broker with local touch, we have seen that South Africa has high potential to develop some very successful traders. However, it's still a new market, so there's demand towards learning how to trade, and this is why we're coming to South Africa, because we want to teach traders how to trade, how to do it safely, and to apply effective risk management strategies. Because as you pointed out, this is a very fast-moving market. There are opportunities to make money. However, that if you are not an experienced trader, and if you jump into the market with less experience, you also expose yourself to some risks. So what we're going to do is we're going to come to South Africa, and on a new and newbie level, we're going to teach how the Forex market works, some of the mechanisms, and then take it from there.
I understand that you've also recently launched an e-book, which gives us the 50 habits of the most successful traders. Give us a quick overview of what the habits of successful traders actually are.
Sure. So as part of our commitment towards trader education, what we've developed through our head of education, Mr. Andreas Falasinos, he's one of the most respected FX educators in the whole industry across the globe, and he's actually coming to South Africa. At the end of last year, he developed his first ebook on 50 successful trader habits. A lot is about risk management and education, because education never stops. Trust me, without when somebody who's been in this industry now for a number of years. He's actually going to be releasing more ebooks in the future, and he's very much looking forward to coming to South Africa and to teaching the market.
Clearly, technology plays quite a vital role here, not only through the e-books and the training that you provide, but I understand that the use of technology and these online platforms is also opening up the Forex trading environment, not only to professionals, but to retail traders as well. Is that a theme that holds true for what we see in South Africa and across the continent too?
Actually, it's a theme for across the globe. What we're seeing over the past couple of years is a whole new market develop in different continents because of this access to global technology, whether it's faster internet speeds or the ability to use the internet on your mobile application. So we're seeing a whole new market develop here, because traditionally Forex trading was more specified for banks, institutions, and large corporations. But actually, over the past couple of years, we've seen a retail market develop. Such as in South Africa, we're seeing a lot of interest towards learning how to trade. These are new to the market, and we see a similar trend in Nigeria. We see in Asia, whether it's China or Indonesia or Malaysia, and actually it's quite constant and consistent across other industries and other continents as well.
With that said, you mentioned internet speeds and access to data, and I'm not too sure if you're aware, but in South Africa we have fairly exorbitant data costs, so much so that there's been calls from some sectors of civil society to actually see data costs falling substantially. Does that play an influence, though, on the success or the accessibility of Forex traders to your platform?
Not necessarily, because of internet accessibility being available, whether it's an internet cafe or at home on your mobile broadband. And actually, this news that you just pointed about South Africa, I believe it was something that I heard in Nigeria in the past. And we haven't seen any impact in terms of accessibility towards getting to the internet. And obviously, as a trader, connections, technology, accessibility to news, whether it's through your mobile or your broadcast television, it's paramount towards trading.
Let's get into some of the insights now, because we know that a lot of the time Forex trends move according to what the market dynamics are, but also to the political environment. And that's, as we've seen from Brexit and the vote that took place last year, the US elections, and of course more recently the elections in France. Are these elements playing a strong role in the risks and maybe even the rewards that could be gained from Forex trading?
Absolutely. We're seeing some very constantly changing market dynamics, and this is why trader education actually never stops. Because up to maybe 1 year ago, just before the EU referendum, we used to say that political instability used to be something you would associate to emerging market economies. But over the past year, we've seen political instability and political risk be priced into the Brexit, the British pound. It's dropped nearly 30% since last year. You've got the US elections and Donald Trump. Over the past weekend, we saw huge volatility in the euro, and because of the French elections, which obviously now have been surpassed. Over the next month, we've got more elections in the United Kingdom on June the 8th. So we're going to see political risk as something that's impacting the markets much more now than it used to. And this is opening up opportunities for traders, of course, but it comes back to knowing your risk and education.
Regarding the education, as well as some of the themes and trends that we see from a political perspective, and maybe even the Forex volatility, I'm hoping that maybe you can give us like a gauge as to, some of the most volatile currencies across the globe, which actually see quite a bit of activity from traders globally.
Yeah, traders are interested in major currencies like the British pound, the euro, the Japanese yen, major commodity markets such as the oil. Obviously, oil prices is a very dominant global theme right now. You've got safe havens such as gold. But over the past couple of years, and this is why it's interesting perhaps towards the growth of retail forex in South Africa, we've seen a lot of volatility in emerging market currencies, whether it's the South African rand.
Yeah, that's
Russian
one of the most
ruble.
volatile, right? And one that's often traded, the South African rand.
Correct, and it's not the only one that's volatile, however. You've got the Turkish lira. It's exploded into weakness over the past 18 months. The Russian ruble has been on a huge downturn for years, and it's only just starting to recover. You've got Asian currencies as well, the Indonesian rupiah, Malaysian ringgit, and so on. So what we're seeing is emerging market currencies are becoming more volatile, and it's actually opening up interest towards learning how the Forex industry works, even just as an exchange market.
You mentioned a lot of currencies there from emerging markets from a global perspective, as well as more developed economies. But what about trading Forex in currencies which are familiar to the African continent, like the Zambian kwacha, Ghanaian cedis, Nigerian nairas, or even the Kenyan shilling? Are there opportunities for trade to take place there?
There are always opportunities in the market, and there's always opportunities for traders. But again, it comes back down to trader education. The only currency that I cover out of the ones you just mentioned is actually the Nigerian naira. And what I believe that Nigerians and locals have seen recently is how interconnected the financial markets are. I'll give you an example of this. This time 3 years ago, the price of oil began at sudden tumble from around $114 to as low as below $30 last year. And this consequently had a huge impact on Nigerian naira, which on a historic basis is very depressed. So you're seeing how interconnected the markets are, the price of oil, Nigerian naira, safe havens like gold's rebounding and gaining momentum. It can have an impact on the Japanese yen, for example.
With that said, Jameel, you've mentioned quite a bit, and clearly opportunities do exist on the market. But I want us to get perspective for potential Forex traders out there in South Africa. I know how Afropolitans are. They'll be keen and eager to participate. What are the key things that they need to bear in mind before embarking on any Forex trading courses and trading Forex itself?
Enthusiasm is obviously always a good trend for any trader to have, and it's a good characteristic. But really what you need to develop is some patience and acceptance towards learning how this market works. Because yes, there's opportunities. There's opportunities in this market every day. However, trader education is so paramount, and it's not something that you can just jump into. You need to learn how the markets work. It's a hobby, actually, such as if you're playing rugby or soccer, if you call it that in South Africa. It takes many years to be playing this sport to get better at it.
Very
the same
true.
with trading. So we always suggest that trading takes place in a risk-free environment, whether that's on a demo account, just to learn how the place to trade. And it takes time to learn. It's not something that you can just jump into, but if you do develop a skill, it's something that can be lucrative.
Very true. A powerful note to leave it off on. Empower yourself with education. Take your time and ensure that this is income or activities that you do on the sideline and not basically your primary source of financial fulfillment. Pleasure speaking to you, Jameel. You've certainly educated us on the wonders of technology and FXTM, which will be launching in South Africa. Very briefly, when is the launch date in South Africa?
So basically, I'm actually coming to Johannesburg and South Africa itself for the very first time next week, and I'll be meeting many different media forums to explain how the financial markets work and to discuss the global currencies and the global markets. And then the following weekend, so not this weekend, the weekend after, we're going to be hosting our first seminar in Johannesburg. Then we're going to go to Durban before returning to Johannesburg for a 2-3 day workshop. You can find out more news about the event on our website. And, of course, we'll continue promoting on social media channels, so you can check out our Facebook page.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time today, Jameel. That was Jameel Ahmad, Vice President of Corporate Development and Market Research at FXTM.